Hey, VC. It's been a while since I've been around. I haven't been out looking for records much. Um, I had a big day yesterday. I had a friend that was visiting from out of state, and she was visiting her husband's family a few hours away from me. So I cleared my schedule and took off early in the morning, and we spent the day together, which was great with her whole family. It was just fantastic seeing her and catching up. It had been, since I moved, I hadn't seen her. So I was super excited. On my way home, I decided that I would go a different way, and I would go to one of my favorite record stores and then also stop by one of my favorite places to eat. And I'm really glad I did. Because I thought I was just like, I'm going to be in traffic anyway, so I might as well stop at my record store and grab a bite to eat before I hit the road. It's not going to add that much time. There's already going to be traffic. And then it ended up there wasn't all that much traffic anyway, which was great. So I'm super excited that I decided to do that little detour. The first thing when I got to the jazz section, this is the first thing I was looking for, because when this came out earlier this year, I think it came out in March, I went up to my sort of local store up here. They had, it was on there. Sorry, I'm really tired, so I'm rambling, which I do anyway, but I'm rambling even more. So yeah, when this came out, I went up to my sort of local record store here, and they only got one copy and they sold it. And then I've looked at this store and then my other store that I go to a lot over the last few times I've been there, and they haven't gotten this back in stock. So this is, when I hit the jazz, this is the first thing I looked for. Of course, it's Hank Mobley. Came out earlier this year. It's a tone poet. Hank is one of my favorites, so I was super excited to get this. I did, I know how that store's laid out, so the first thing I went to was they have, let me think about what they call it, collectible records. So, things that are collectible, things that are like obscure pressings or bootlegs. I think maybe the last time I was there, they had 2 Joni bootlegs that I picked up. So I was excited to look through that stuff again. There wasn't anything that I couldn't live without this time. Then, I looked at the pop rock stuff. So I looked at Joni, I looked at Kay Bush, I looked at Elvis Costello, all my regulars. Went to the country, looked at Patsy Cline, Emmylou Harris. There wasn't anything that I didn't already have, or if I didn't have it, it wasn't in good enough shape for me to want to pick it up. So I just wandered over to the jazz stuff, and this is the first thing I looked for, and I was excited that they had it. So I grabbed it, and then I'll just move on. While I was in the Hank Mobley section, I saw this one. I can't remember exactly, but I think this just came out recently, like within the last maybe 2 or 3 months. So, yeah, I was like, well, heck yeah, I'll grab that too. These are, I pride myself on getting good deals on records. Yesterday was not one of those days. I just paid, regular price. There was only one thing that I got a discount on. But this, it was still $28, and that's really good for a new record these days, right? So these Blue Notes are still a really good value. Just trying to see real quick. None of the people I also collect are on this record. That's just what I was looking for. So we'll move on. Then this Wayne Shorter was actually 25% off, which came out to, I think, about $10 off, which is great, right? I mean, that's fantastic. They, last year, the discount store that I used to shop at had a whole bunch of these, but they were really, really beat up, all of them. There wasn't one that, the cover wasn't completely trashed. So I decided not to get it. And this is a double LP. And Wayne is somebody that I collect for sure. So I was bummed about that. And I'm like, no, I'm just not going to buy one that's, in horrific condition. And they were, probably $20 as well. So it's not like they were $5 or anything. So, my patience finally paid off and now I have it. Also on this is Brian Blade. Do I actively collect Brian Blade? Not really, but he also played with Joni. The thing that I do, if you've never seen one of these rambling low-tech videos before of mine, I am a huge Joni Mitchell fan, and from that, I have become a jazz fan. I've become a Wayne Shorter fan, Herbie Hancock fan. So I actively collect, Wayne and Herbie, but then I sort of passively collect other people who have played with Joni, like Brian Blade. So, Brian played on this as well. So it just hits another, ticks off one more thing that I kind of collect. So I'm really excited to have this. I'm excited that it was on sale, and glad to have it. So I just bought one other thing. And that is, I haven't opened any of these. That is Paul Chambers, Bass on Top, also Tone Poet. Another thing that I sort of actively collect are, the bass is my favorite instrument. I love those bass solos. They never get the applause that all the other solos get, but for me, I just love the bass. It again is my favorite instrument. And, I don't consider myself a musician at all, but I do. I have taken bass lessons and I can fumble through stuff. I am just by far not an actual musician though. But yeah, just a big fan. So, I was looking through things. I had a budget of what I was willing to spend, and I actually went under budget, which is kind of a miracle. But this maybe wouldn't normally be one of the first things I would have grabbed, but when I saw it, I was like, yeah, it's time for me to have this for sure. So I just bought 4 things. I saw a really great friend, and we spent the whole day together. We had an amazing lunch at a Cambodian restaurant. And then I stopped by one of my favorite Middle Eastern restaurants on the way home. This record store that I go to has, I don't know how to describe it, a sculpture, sort of a mascot sculpture that every time I'm there, even when I wasn't collecting records, I would still stop in just to visit this this character. I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, and then there wasn't a whole lot of traffic going home, which was great. So I mean, it was just really, I'm in a position right now where things are a little stressful in my life. So having a day where I got to do like many of my favorite things was just amazing. So yeah, yesterday was a great day. Dead tired right now, probably gonna take a nap, but I wanted to make a quick video because that's what I do. I'm called One Take Charlie, and that's what I do. I just do one take, and who knows what I'm gonna say. So yeah, if you've made it this far, maybe think about subscribing. A lot of people have super slick videos with lots of editing and they're just perfect. And then there's me who's just like, oh, let's just see what happens. So yeah, if you're not too horrified by that, maybe think about subscribing. All right, thanks, VC. Peace out.